Commander Zorak's starship pierced Earth's atmosphere with a low hum, the vessel's sleek design contrasting sharply with the haphazard layout of human structures below. He stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind his back, his expression a mask of indifferent authority. The Galactic Empire had always viewed human leisure activities with a mix of amusement and disdain. Today, he was here to substantiate that condescension. "Commander, we are approaching the coordinates for Aquaworld," reported Lieutenant Vrex, her voice tinged with curiosity. Zorak gave a curt nod, eyes narrowing at the sprawling water park displayed on the screen. Brightly colored slides twisted like serpents, weaving through lush greenery and sparkling blue pools. "Prepare the landing party," Zorak ordered. "Let's see what these humans consider an engineering marvel." On the ground, Max Whitman paced nervously. As Aquaworld's chief engineer, he had been chosen to guide the alien delegation, a task that filled him with both pride and anxiety. He adjusted his uniform, hoping to make a good impression despite the aliens' notorious skepticism. The starship landed with a graceful descent, its hatch opening to reveal Zorak and his entourage. They were an imposing sight, tall and clad in metallic uniforms that shimmered in the sunlight. Max stepped forward, offering a warm, if somewhat tense, smile. "Welcome to Aquaworld. I'm Max Whitman, Chief Engineer," he greeted. Zorak's gaze swept over Max, appraising him with a hint of disdain. "Lead the way, Mr. Whitman. We are eager to witness this pinnacle of human ingenuity." Max swallowed his irritation and gestured towards the entrance. "Follow me. We'll start with a tour of our most famous attractions." As they walked, Max explained the intricacies of the park's design. Each slide is engineered for both maximum safety and enjoyment. For instance, the water propulsion system here ensures a smooth ride, while the structural integrity is maintained through advanced materials. Zorak remained impassive, his eyes scanning each detail. Words are easy, human. Demonstrations, however, carry weight. Max led them to the park's centerpiece, the abyss. The colossal waterslide towered above them, its dark tube spiraling down in a seemingly endless descent. It was a marvel of engineering, designed to push the boundaries of thrill and safety. "This is the abyss," Max announced. "It's our most advanced slide, combining speed, height, and intricate safety mechanisms." Zorak's expression remained unreadable. "We begin with this," he declared, his voice a challenge. The entourage watched as Zorak ascended the platform, his every step a study in controlled precision. Max's heart pounded. If Zorak enjoyed the ride, it could change the Empire's perception of human innovation. If not, the park and Max's career would be in jeopardy. From the top of the platform, Zorak glanced down at the daunting slide. He took a breath, steeling himself, and then launched into the abyss. The initial drop was steep, pulling a gasp from even the stoic commander. As he twisted and turned through the dark tube, the advanced engineering and sheer thrill began to erode his skepticism. Halfway down, Zorak's stoic mask slipped, replaced by an expression of unrestrained exhilaration. By the time he emerged from the slide, soaked but unscathed, there was a spark of something new in his eyes. Respect, perhaps. Max hurried to meet him. "Well, Commander?" Zorak paused, a rare smile playing at his lips. This was unexpected. Before Max could respond, an alarm blared, shattering the moment. Panic surged through him as he realized a critical malfunction was threatening the safety of everyone in the park, including the alien delegation. He turned towards the control room, determination etched on his face. This was his moment to prove human ingenuity beyond a shadow of a doubt. Max's heart raced as he led the alien delegation through the twisting corridors of Aquaworld, the wail of the alarm echoing ominously. Zorak and his entourage followed closely, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. The vibrant atmosphere of the park had been replaced by an undercurrent of urgency. "What's the situation?" Zorak's voice cut through the tension like a blade. "One of our primary water pumps has malfunctioned," Max explained, his mind already calculating the possible repercussions. "If we don't fix it immediately, the pressure could drop, making the rides unsafe." They reached the control room, a hive of activity where engineers and technicians worked frantically. Max's colleague, Sarah, looked up, relief evident on her face. Max, thank goodness you're here. We've pinpointed the issue to pump 3, but the override isn't responding. Max nodded, moving swiftly to the central console. His fingers danced across the interface, bypassing security protocols and accessing the manual controls. Zorak watched, his gaze sharp and analytical. "Commander," Max began, not looking up from his work, "we've designed multiple failsafes into our systems. This situation is highly unusual." Zorak raised an eyebrow. "Unusual, perhaps, but not impossible. Proceed." Max pulled up the schematics of the water system, tracing the lines that connected Pump 3 to the rest of the park. "Sarah, prepare the backup pump. We'll need to reroute the flow manually." As Sarah moved to comply, Max explained to Zorak, "This will temporarily shut down a few of the slides, but it's necessary to stabilize the system." Zorak nodded, his respect for Max's expertise growing. "Efficiency and safety, Mr. Whitman. Let's see your human ingenuity in action." The control room buzzed with coordinated effort as Max and his team worked to reroute the water flow. Max's focus was absolute, his mind a whirlwind of calculations and contingencies. The hiss of hydraulic lines and the hum of machinery filled the air, underscoring the gravity of the situation. Max glanced at the pressure gauges, noting the gradual stabilization. "Sarah, initiate the backup pump on my mark now." A deep rumble resonated through the park as the backup system kicked in. The tension in the control room was palpable, every eye fixed on the monitors. Slowly, the pressure readings began to normalize, and the alarm's blare subsided to a soft, rhythmic beeping. Max exhaled, a triumphant grin spreading across his face. "We did it. The system is stabilizing." Zorak's lips curved into a rare smile. "Impressive, Mr. Whitman. Your quick thinking averted a potential disaster." Max turned to face the alien commander, the adrenaline still coursing through his veins. "Thank you, Commander. It was a team effort." Before Zorak could respond, a secondary alarm chirped a less urgent, but still significant, alert. Sarah's eyes widened as she scanned the new data. "Max, there's a pressure buildup in the secondary lines. It looks like some debris is causing a blockage." Max frowned, his mind racing again. "If we don't clear it, we could have another failure, potentially worse than the first." Zorak stepped forward, his demeanor shifting from observer to collaborator. "What do you need, Max?" Max met his gaze, feeling a newfound sense of camaraderie. "We need to locate the blockage and remove it manually. It's a dangerous task, but it's the only way to ensure the safety of the park." Zorak nodded, his expression resolute. "Lead the way." The cool, chlorinated air of Aqua World's maintenance tunnels enveloped Max and Commander Zorak as they navigated the narrow passageways. The distant hum of the water filtration system created a constant background noise, amplifying the urgency of their task. Max held a portable scanner, its screen displaying a tangled web of pipes and conduits. "We're close," Max said, his voice steady but tense. "The blockage should be just ahead." Zorak nodded, his eyes scanning the tunnel with military precision. "Lead the way, Mr. Whitman. We must act swiftly." As they rounded a corner, the sound of rushing water grew louder, signaling their proximity to the problem area. Max pointed to a section of piping that was visibly bulging. "There, the pressure buildup is at its peak." He approached the pipe, examining the bolts and seals. "We'll need to shut down this section and manually remove the debris. It's going to be a delicate operation." Zorak stepped forward, his expression determined. "What do you require of me?" Max appreciated the commander's willingness to assist. "I'll need you to monitor the pressure gauges and alert me if anything starts to spike. Timing is critical." As Zorak moved to the monitoring station, Max began loosening the bolts on the access panel. The pressure hissed ominously, a stark reminder of the potential danger. Max's hands worked with practiced efficiency, but the weight of the task was not lost on him. "What kind of debris could cause such a blockage?" Zorak asked, his eyes never leaving the gauges. "Could be anything," Max replied, grunting as he wrestled with a stubborn bolt. "Plastic, leaves, even small toys. Anything that finds its way into the system." With a final twist, the panel came free, revealing a mass of tangled debris wedged in the pipe. Max reached in, carefully extracting the blockage piece by piece. His fingers brushed against a large chunk of plastic, the likely culprit of the backup. "Got it," he said, holding up the offending item. "This should alleviate the pressure." Suddenly, a loud creak reverberated through the tunnel, followed by a sharp increase in the pressure readings. Zorak's eyes widened. "Max, the pressure is spiking." Max's pulse quickened. "We're almost there. Just a little longer." The pipe shuddered, and Max knew they were running out of time. He worked faster, pulling out the last remnants of debris. With a final, forceful yank, the blockage came free, and the pressure readings began to stabilize. Zorak exhaled, his shoulders relaxing slightly. "Well done, Max." Max replaced the panel and tightened the bolts, ensuring the pipe was secure. "That should do it. Let's get back to the control room and verify everything is running smoothly." As they retraced their steps, the tension began to ebb, replaced by a shared sense of accomplishment. Zorak's demeanor had shifted. The skepticism he had carried seemed to have softened, replaced by a genuine respect for Max's skills and determination. "You handled yourself well under pressure, Mr. Whitman," Zorak said as they emerged from the tunnel. Max smiled, feeling a camaraderie with the alien commander. "Thank you, Commander. I couldn't have done it without your assistance." Their moment of mutual respect was interrupted by a sudden, violent tremor that shook the ground beneath their feet. Max's eyes widened in alarm. "That's not good. We need to get back to the control room, now." They sprinted towards the control room, the park around them shuddering with aftershocks. Max's mind raced with possibilities, each one more dire than the last. As they burst into the control room, Sarah looked up, her face pale. "Max, the main reservoir's integrity is compromised. If we don't secure it immediately, the whole park could flood." Max's heart pounded. "We need to act fast. Zorak, are you with me?" The control room buzzed with frantic activity as Max and Zorak assessed the situation. The tremors had subsided, but the threat of a catastrophic flood remained. Max stared at the main reservoir's integrity readings, his mind racing to devise a solution. "We need to relieve the pressure before the reservoir bursts," Max said, his voice steady despite the urgency. "If we can divert the excess water to the overflow channels, we might buy ourselves some time." Zorak nodded, his expression resolute. "I'll coordinate with your team. What do you need?" Max appreciated the commander's proactive stance. "We'll need to manually open the overflow valves. They're located at the far end of the park." Sarah interjected, her tone anxious but determined. "Max, the park's automated systems are still down. You'll have to open the valves by hand." Max turned to Zorak. "We'll need to split up. I'll handle the southern valves. Zorak, can you take the northern ones?" "Understood," Zorak replied, already moving towards the exit. "Let's ensure the safety of this place." Max sprinted through Aquaworld, the normally joyful sounds of the park replaced by the ominous groan of straining infrastructure. He reached the southern valve station and quickly set to work. The valve was stubborn, resisting his attempts to turn it. Sweat dripped down his forehead as he strained against the unyielding metal. Finally, with a grating screech, the valve began to turn. Max gritted his teeth, applying all his strength until the mechanism gave way and water rushed into the overflow channel with a deafening roar. He checked his communicator, hoping for an update from Zorak. "Commander, status report," Max called out, his breath heavy. A moment later, Zorak's voice crackled through the speaker. "The northern valves are open. Pressure is stabilizing, but we're not out of danger yet. The main reservoir is still compromised." Max's heart pounded. "Meet me at the reservoir control station. We'll need to manually reinforce the structure." As Max approached the control station, he saw Zorak already there, his hands moving deftly over the emergency controls. Together, they reviewed the schematics and devised a plan to shore up the reservoir's weakened sections. "We need to reinforce the support beams," Max explained. "I'll handle the east side. Can you take the west?" Zorak nodded. "Let's move." Max climbed up the support structure, the metal groaning under the strain. He secured the reinforcing plates, working quickly but meticulously. Each bolt tightened felt like a small victory against the impending disaster. The structure shuddered but held firm. East side secure, Max reported, descending the ladder. How's the west? Secured, Zorak replied, wiping sweat from his brow. Pressure is stabilizing further. We might just pull this off. Max glanced at the pressure readings, relief washing over him as the numbers began to normalize. The danger was receding, but the final test would be ensuring the system held under full operation. Let's get back to the control room and restart the automated systems, Max said. If everything goes smoothly, we'll have averted the crisis. Back in the control room, Sarah and the rest of the team were already working to bring the systems back online. Max and Zorak monitored the process, ready to intervene at the first sign of trouble. The screens flickered to life, and the familiar hum of the automated systems returning to operation filled the room. All systems functional, Sarah announced, her voice trembling with relief. We did it. Max turned to Zorak, a grateful smile spreading across his face. Thank you, Commander. I couldn't have done it without you. Zorak inclined his head, his respect for Max evident. It was a joint effort. Your ingenuity and determination were crucial. The two stood together, watching as Aquaworld returned to its vibrant, bustling self. The crisis had forged an unexpected bond between them, a testament to what could be achieved through cooperation and mutual respect.